Hey everyone, welcome to the Royce Reports. I'm your host, Royce, and you know what time it is? It is getting closer and closer to the Xbox showcase. And in anticipation for this, I kind of want to go and do a deep dive into everything that Xbox Game Studios is working with, everything that Bethesda is doing, and all of the third-party publishing stuff that has been going on over at Xbox. So, if you're into anything like that, if you're really looking forward to the Xbox showcase and just want to know all the projects that are going on with Xbox, this is the video for you. It's going to be a very long video, so sit back, relax, get some popcorn, grab a candy, grab a soda, chill out, listen to my sweet, seductive voice, and enjoy your time here. And if you've already clicked on this and you're not really prepared for that, well, you're stuck. You can't unclick from this. You're going to have to watch the whole entire thing. So, sorry, but you're going to be dragged along too. I will try to do my best to make sure that there is some sort of way to have some timestamps involved with this, so that way you're not just sitting here listening to things that you don't really want to hear about, because who really cares what Minecraft and Mojang are doing, right? Not me, but I'll be going over it nonetheless because it is a studio. So with that, let's talk about it. Okay, so where am I getting all of this information? I just want to be upfront and tell you that I'm actually getting this from a post that was made on Reddit. Now, I'm not taking any credit for this whatsoever. This is actually coming from Crusader3456. Now, he's did this before in the past where he has broken down everything that Xbox is doing, and he has done a phenomenal job. So I'll be leaving a link to this Reddit post in the description below. Please stop by, give it a like. He did a great job, or whoever it is did a great job. And I am just kind of going over it and kind of just briefly skimming through this. But again, this is none of my work. I am we're just discussing what he put here on paper, and I'm discussing it with you guys. But just so you know, that's where you should go check it out and give him a like, because he definitely deserves it. So without further ado, let's get this started. And we're going to be starting off with Xbox Game Studios. So this is the Xbox internal team, and we're going to go in alphabetical order. So we're going to start with 343 Industries. 343 Industries is the shepherd of the Halo franchise. Now, everyone knows how rough Halo Infinite launched during its launch window. It was a great game with lackluster support that did not launch with co-op, that did not launch with Forge, and launched with a very minimal amount of maps and game modes when it was vital to have those things. Because of the track record of 343 with Halo 4, with the Master Chief Collection, and with Halo 5, Microsoft has finally decided that, hey, enough is enough. We're going to just continue with the franchise, but we're going to have to reconfigure and restructure our team. So starting from the top down, they have let people go. People have left the community, have left the studio, and are going off and doing other things. Now, is this a good thing or a bad thing? We have yet to see that. We are still waiting for the result of all this change. But as it still stands, 343 Industries is still the shepherd of the Halo franchise, and where they're going next is sort of a mystery. Halo Infinite was supposedly supposed to be a 10-year game, which means that they're going to update it with DLC, update it with new content, and have it be sort of a live service type video game. Now, we have seen this before in the past, and we know that live service tends to fail unless you're Fortnite or Call of Duty. If you're none of those things, then good luck. This kind of happened with Halo. Because of the massive flop that Halo was, they have kind of shifted gears now. They have no real direct entry into another franchise, so we're still a little bit on the wayside here trying to figure out what they are doing. But the rumors are that they have a title called Halo the Endless that is supposed to be dropping at some point. A lot of people are speculating that this title is going to be in an expansion of the story due to the fact that Halo Infinite did end on a sort of cliffhanger, and we still don't know what the Endless truly are. So hopefully 343 can add some DLC to this wonderful story, because I feel like the Halo Infinite story was done very well. It's just that we need more. There needs to be more meat to this, and I hope that the Endless, if it does come out, that it could truly shine. Not only are they working on the campaign aspect of it, they're also working on the multiplayer aspect of it. They're supposedly working with Certain Affinity for a battle royale type mode to be introduced into Halo. A lot of Halo fans are kind of on the fence about this because they're wary of this battle royale mode, because a lot of battle royale seems to be kind of overdone at this point. But it'd be very interesting to see this. It's supposed to be a combination of what Halo 5's Warzone and its PvP/PvE experience was, and combining that into a battle royale type mode. There's also rumors of Halo being swapped over to Unreal Engine 5, which have yet to be substantiated. Jeff Grubb has stated before that he believes that this is going to be occurring. I don't know if it's going to be occurring. I've yet to see any signs of this, but I would assume that due to the fact that they're using the Slip Space engine and how difficult it is to incorporate new things, that they might be just swapping over to Unreal Engine 5 in order to have a smoother process. We have yet to see that, and it is yet to be seen. So we'll just have to wait and see on that front. But that's pretty much what's going on with 343. We know that that Master Chief is here to stay, that those stories are going to continue to be told. The new head of 343 is in charge. I would love to be able to see this studio be able to bring Halo back to the forefront. Moving on to the Coalition. This is another workhorse for Microsoft. The Coalition carried the team during the Xbox One generation with great additions, including the Gears of War 4 and Gears of War 5. Now, there was rumors that they were moving away from Gears for a little bit to go work on some unannounced side projects that were going to be smaller in scale, as reported by Jeff Grubb. Now, this rumor has now turned out to be not false, but have turned out to be the fact that, but now that the whole shifting of the Coalition, and due to some layoffs because of the massive layoffs that were occurring in the tech industry, they have shifted focus from those smaller projects over to Gear 6, is what the current rumor is. It's kind of sad to see, because I feel like the Coalition deserves to be able to have their own game, deserves to be able to flex their muscles when it comes down to Unreal Engine, because they are absolute masters at Unreal, and they continue to showcase this by having their toes dipped in pretty much every single Unreal project that you have seen so far. They continue to show support to other studios and even help other companies within Microsoft handle the Unreal Engine, including the State of Decay guys over at Undead Labs. So these guys are just gurus at this, and they are now going to be working on Gear 6. There were rumors for a little bit that they're going to be working on a Star Wars spin-off story like The Mandalorian. Those have been squashed. I would love to have seen that, because these guys know how to make a beautiful game, and I feel like the concept of what Gears of War is, that third-person cover shooter, I think that would have translated very well in The Mandalorian and Star Wars universe, but we still don't know, and hopefully we'll see more soon. Compulsion Games is the next one up, and you probably don't really know too much about Compulsion, and it's, you know, deserved, because they don't really make a whole lot of noise. The Compulsion Games has come off of two other games before, which is We Happy Few and Contrast. Now, these games weren't the biggest budget. I would say that Contrast was more of an indie game, and that We Happy Few was definitely more of a AA game. But the thing about these games is that it had massive potential. Contrast was a fun, short experience. We Happy Few, I've played it, I dabbled into it, and it is wonderful. The only thing I could not stand about the game was the randomized loot that just would not help you in the game. It just seems like the game was always out against you. If they would have focused more on creating a great narrative and pushing the story forward in a more linear fashion, I think they would have been able to handle it very well. But due to the lack of finances and financial support, they were not able to get to where they needed to go. Now that they're underneath Xbox, I feel like Xbox can give them exactly that. What they're rumored to be working on is a dark fantasy game set in Louisiana, and it kind of has some Louisiana lore attached to it. There are some leaked art out there, and that art looks very intriguing. These guys really know how to craft a great, crazy looking world, and I would be excited and delighted to be able to actually see what this team is capable of with the power of Xbox behind them. And they've even stated before to Phil Spencer that they do not want to be known for AA games. They want to be known for AAA games, and that they believe that they are ready to deliver on this project. Now, the codename is Project Midnight, and we have yet to hear any official statements on this. Not even a CGI trailer has been shown for this, but that is the current news, the current rumors surrounding Compulsion Games. Double Fine Studios is a classic studio. This studio has been around for decades and has been putting out absolute bangers after bangers after bangers. So the last game that they officially put out was Psychonauts 2, and Psychonauts 2 was one of my favorite games of 2021. And if you've played the original, it only expanded upon that and made it even better. And because of the Microsoft backing, they were able to include a lot more due to that. Now, Double Fine has always been a smaller studio. They have been more confined, and that's how they normally work. But not only have they expanded Compulsion Games, they've also expanded Double Fine. Now, there were rumors that Double Fine was going to be working on a Banjo-Kazooie game, but Tim Schafer has actually come out and debunked those, saying that they would not want to work on Banjo-Kazooie, that they only want to work on their own IP and do their own thing. But they do have 2 projects rumored to be in development. From what I understand, there were some leaked images and video concept of a game that had mugs, and the mugs are filled with water, and you're supposed to take water from one location and put it to another, but it's a multiplayer game, so people are trying to stop you, and it's a very jumbled up mess. And that was the only thing that I could find on what Double Fine could be potentially doing. Double Fine is talented, and I'd love to see them tackle another Psychonauts, because the Psychonauts story is so well done, and they're actually very good at these platformer games. They're not necessarily known for the platformer games because they have so much variety in all of their games, but I feel like they could make that a staple of theirs if they truly tried. And again, I don't think we're going to be seeing anything from Double Fine for some time. The Initiative is a team that was built from the ground up to build Perfect Dark and do a Perfect Dark reboot. Now, this game has been in development for quite some time, since they were created in 2018. We did get a CGI concept video of what to expect of Joanna Dark. We have yet to see anything, and we only know that they have hired other people to go and help build the game for them, which is Crystal Dynamics. They have also supposedly tapped the Certain Affinity team to come in and help them build out the guns. Now, this team is headed by David Gallagher, who is known for his Tomb Raider franchise, his Tomb Raider trilogy. He tapped a lot of people across the industry to come and help build this studio out, and all those people have fallen to the wayside just because a lot of heads, a lot of chefs in the kitchen don't really make a good meal here. So there has been a lot of trouble going on with the studio. Layoffs have been shifting over to different ideas, and the fact that they're not really showing a whole lot when it comes to this game, even though the studio has been built since 2018, is worrisome signs of the game being in trouble. But I have faith in the studio. I know a lot of people don't. They have no track record whatsoever, so why not believe in them for a change here? But I really do think that if they make Perfect Dark somewhat like Deus Ex, I think that it would be a great way to revitalize this franchise, because out of all the franchises that Microsoft could have tapped with all of their IP that they own, they decided to pick Perfect Dark for some reason. And I can only imagine the reason why they picked this was because someone sold the game to Microsoft in a very convincing way. Because where is our Conquer game? Where is our Banjo game? We need these. Where are they? Huh? Well, we don't know, because there's still no rumors around these games. But hopefully Perfect Dark can make a comeback. And I really have not been missing Perfect Dark ever since the N64. So maybe they can make me feel a little bit nostalgic. Inxile Entertainment. Inxile is the team behind Wasteland. Now, this team has some very strong potential here. They do have people who have created Fallout involved with this. If you have played the Wasteland series, I know you know how good of the writing is in that series. If you haven't, do yourself a favor. It is on Game Pass. Go check those games out. They are pretty well written, and they're actually pretty funny. And I think that a lot of that is what the old Fallout used to be, and they're just great writers. So the rumor is that they're working on a first-person RPG set in a steampunk setting, and that is pretty much all we know at the moment about Inxile and the big IP that they're working on. There's rumors swirling around that they're also working on a second IP that is a known IP, but we have not gotten any substantial rumors on that. But Inxile is a very talented team. I can see that without even having to dig too deep. They are just on the surface level, you just know. And because of their past and where they come from, I am super excited to see what kind of RPG that they'll be able to produce. Mojang Studios. Okay, we're going to skip this. Mojang are the guys that are doing Minecraft. Mojang can kind of upset me a lot, because we've been waiting for this ray tracing update for Minecraft for a very long time now, and we have still not seen it. They are currently working on an update for Minecraft, so hopefully there will be some graphic options that'll be added to maybe allow for ray tracing to finally happen. But I would love to see Minecraft in ray tracing light, because from what they've shown off before, it looks absolutely phenomenal. But Mojang has actually expanded a bunch, and they have worked on other projects and are actually continuing to work on other projects and branch out. We've seen it before. They've done it multiple times. They did the Minecraft story mode, they did the Minecraft dungeons, and just recently they did Minecraft Legends. So they're working with multiple studios, and they're continuing to want to kind of shell out the Minecraft IP and expand upon it. They're even doing a live action movie. So there's a lot going on with the Minecraft IP. Mojang wants and is hungry. They want to be bigger. They want to have Minecraft be everywhere and have it be the next big thing, which it already has been. But they are doing a great job at maintaining the success of that franchise. It blows me away how many sales there are of Minecraft and how popular Minecraft is to this day. But that is what Mojang is up to. If you're not interested in that, yeah, I'm not either, but there it is for you. Ninja Theory. This team has been, I have been waiting. I have been salivating in the mouth trying to see more Hellblade. This game looks absolutely gorgeous. The fact that it's taking so long is because they are introducing new technology with this. Ninja Theory wants to be at the forefront of all the technology going on. They want to be the first ones to grab it and kind of make a unique experience. And they did that with Hellblade a few years back. And that game, if you have not played it, I highly recommend playing it. And you'll probably hear it and you'll hear it again. But use some headphones. It really gets into the psychological effects of what PTSD can do to somebody. And seeing that affect the main character is astonishing. And Hellblade 2 seems to continue that trajectory with Senua, and I'm excited to see where Senua goes and how they're going to be able to tell this next story and chapter of Senua. But I kind of want Ninja Theory to go and do something else. We have been waiting a long time. They're also working on Project Mara, which is supposed to be a horror game that they're working with a bunch of psychologists to kind of determine how to develop fear and how to induce fear. And they've been working on this project for a very long time now, and it's set in an apartment. Other than that, not really sure what they're working on, but hopefully they go back to some of their earlier titles, because if you haven't played Enslaved Odyssey to the West, I cannot recommend that game enough. It is backwards compatible. It is on the store. You can go and buy it. For some reason, it's not in Game Pass. I don't think that Xbox owns the rights to it. I think Bandai Namco does. But that game is phenomenal. It's pretty much The Last of Us before The Last of Us was there. It is great. I know that they're great and masters at doing fun and fluid combat. And I know that the Ninja Theory that they did, or the Hellblade that they did, wasn't really that. It was just pretty much hit one button and dodge with another. But they are actually really good at doing some great action, and I'd love to see them go back to that. Obsidian Entertainment, they continue to surprise me, even though I already have high expectations for everything that they put out. This team is just a workhorse. They can just output at such a high demand and with great quality at that. So we know that right now Obsidian is obviously working on Avowed, and we haven't really seen anything from Avowed other than the CGI trailer they showed a few years back. But Avowed is one of the most hyped games that is underneath the Xbox banner at this moment. I am super excited to see more about this. I know I keep saying that, but I'm freaking stoked to see Avowed. To actually have a game that is set in a fantasy world again, after having something like, we're missing that. We're missing fantasy. We need it. And I need Avowed to really blow me away. But they're currently working on Avowed. They're also working on The Outer Worlds 2, and they're working on many more projects. We know that the lead writer for the Outer Worlds DLC, Murders of Eridanos, has also been given her own project, and they continue to just release games after games after games. Pentiment was a passion project of Josh Sawyer. He is now free to do what he pleases. Hopefully they can take on the Fallout IP once more, because I would love to see Obsidian at the helm for the Fallout franchise, because New Vegas is the best Fallout. I don't care what you say. If you say Fallout 3, you're wrong. If you say Fallout 4, you're wrong. If you say Fallout Tactics, you're going to go to prison. So Fallout New Vegas is the definitive Fallout experience. Fight me if you don't agree. But this team is nothing but talent, and we also have heard, and they have stated before, Jez Corden has stated before, that Obsidian plans on releasing 7 games in 7 years. So does this mean that a game will release every single year? Hopefully. Is that what's going to happen? Probably not. But this team is extremely talented, and they can work in a very short amount of time. We've seen them do it with New Vegas. We've seen them do it with KOTOR 2. So they can do anything. This team is the MacGyver of studios, and I just can't wait to just eat up more Obsidian Entertainment, because Obsidian is probably the #1 studio at Xbox. Playground Games. So Playground, I am so stoked to see what they have done with Fable. Fable is a franchise that is very important to me. I know a lot of people grew up on Fable. I never really got that chance. I grew up on Fable 2. Fable 2, I have played thousands and thousands of hours of. This game I have restarted over and over and over. I have done different things. I've been females, I've been males, I've been good, I've been bad, I've been only melee, only strength, only this and that, and all this other things, right? And that's what is so great about Fable, is that it's a journey that you get to choose how you go through the game. And I think that's what is also very important going forward. And I think that Playground Games knows the humor, it knows the sound, it knows the gameplay. And that's what is important when it comes down to Fable. Now, if they could just work on their human models, because the models in Forza Horizon look abysmal. They look like they don't want to exist. And I hate looking at them doing a bunch of ridiculous chicken dances and twerking every time I go and race. I don't know why they have made it so annoying to watch, but they have figured out a way to annoy me even though I'm playing a racing game. But Playground Games is not just known for Fable, they are also known for the Forza Horizon series, which has now become the de facto racing series for Xbox, which is weird because you would think that was Forza, and it still is Forza, but there are more people who are casual gamers like myself who kind of just want to get into a racing game but not get into the nitty gritty, and Forza Horizon really allows that to happen. And so there are probably more players that will try out Forza Horizon than Forza Motorsport, but regardless, they are doing an excellent job with Forza Horizon. They have just released the Rally DLC not too long ago, and they continue to update the game and have a great support for multiplayer, and I cannot recommend Forza Horizon enough. In fact, it was my game of the year for 2021, and it should be your game of the year for 2021 because nothing really released in that year anyways. But it was a solid racing experience, and I still go and drive around in it and get lost in this beautiful world, in this beautiful version of Mexico. And they are obviously going to continue on with this franchise because they have just reached a milestone of 30 million players in Forza Horizon 5. So this is a game franchise that is definitely going to be going forward, and hopefully we can actually get a Forza set in Japan. I think that would be really fun to be able to explore Japan, to see a Forza in a very dense city that is full of neon lights and just unique floral designs and cherry blossoms that I feel like the team at Playground can really express with the power of the Xbox Series X and truly flex what they have underneath the hood. Rare, oh my god, what can I say about Rare? Well, we know how far Rare has come in and how far they have fallen, right? Except wrong. Rare has actually found success in the things that they do. A lot of people say that Rare is no longer the studio that they used to be, and that's true. It isn't, right? But that doesn't mean that they're not good games that they still develop. They have been working on Sea of Thieves, and Sea of Thieves, if you actually give Sea of Thieves a chance, it is a fun experience. It does adventure like no other game does it. It is a game that I can hop into and hop out of at any point in my life, and I can just feel so satisfied with the work that they have put into this. It is so fun to be able to get on a little dinghy, run my boat into an enemy, get murdered, drop into the water, get picked up by a mermaid, go onto the Flying Dutchman, respawn, eat some coconuts, throw up at people, and quit. Like that's my experience. If you're not playing Sea of Thieves, then what are you doing? If you don't try it at least once, do me a favor, go out, try it. Look at the water. The water is truly fantastic in this game. Anyways, what are we talking about here? Rare, right? So Rare is this company that has kind of been in this weird limbo of not really releasing games that Rare is known for. They have titles like Banjo-Kazooie. They have titles like Perfect Dark and Conquer. These guys were amazing in the N64 days and have not really released much since then, other than Connect titles and Grabbed by the Ghoulies. But they're also working on Everwild. What is Everwild? Who knows? I can't tell you because they don't ever talk about this game. This game has been in development for so long, has been rebooted so many times. At this point, I'm surprised they haven't just outright flat out said, hey, we're no longer doing Everwild. The game's trash. We don't know what the heck we're doing here, and we're wasting money. I'm surprised they haven't said that. It must be a money laundering scheme or something. I don't know how Everwild is still not out, but it does look really pretty in my opinion. From what they've shown of that CGI trailer, it looked really pretty. I like the design. I hope that they can get something out sooner so that way they could just move on to the next thing and we don't really have to worry about when Everwild is going to appear. Turn 10 is the shepherd of the Forza Motorsport and the Forza Tech engine. This engine has been developed over years and years and years, and they continue to improve upon it. And Forza Motorsport is going to be releasing at some point this year. We still don't have a definitive launch date, but hopefully at the showcase they will tell us. But that is the next game in line for these guys. Now, you could probably expect the next game to be Forza again after that. But this team really does a phenomenal job at creating a realistic take on racing, and they are the masters in the space for it. No other racing game understands the fidelity that is required, the attention to detail, and the absolute joy and fun behind all of that. And this team does. And as they are working on Forza Motorsport, they're always improving upon the Forza tech engine, and they're going to be using that and giving it over to the Playground Games, who will then go and make some more Forza Motorsport games, some more Forza Horizon games. Undead Labs. I still don't know why Xbox bought this studio, but Undead Labs is currently working on State of Decay 3. So they have done State of Decay 1, State of Decay 2, and now they're working on State of Decay 3. That's how numbers work. But State of Decay 1, I would say, was an indie game. State of Decay 2, I would say, was a AA game. And I think that State of Decay 3 is going to be their first AAA game, and they're taking their time with it. They're using Unreal Engine 5. They're getting help from the Coalition to build upon this world and to really, I think, achieve what they have always wanted to. And I think Xbox is giving them the time for that. I don't think Undead Labs is ready at all anytime soon to deliver State of Decay 3, but when they are ready, I'll be there to see it. I did dabble in State of Decay 2. I did have a fun time. The connection that you make with your survivors and the fact that you can lose them at any moment is truly terrifying and kind of sad, because you create an emotional connection with these people. And I feel like if they kind of take that and bring it up to another level, then it could really change the aspect of State of Decay. But do we really need another zombie game? Do we really need another zombie game? Like, you named your studio Undead Labs after a zombie game, so now you're just kind of stuck doing zombie games because of your name. But yeah, that's currently where they're at with Undead Labs and the State of Decay franchise. World's Edge. World's Edge is actually not a developer. They go and they work with other studios to help them develop the Age of franchise. So you have Age of Empires 2, you have Age of Empires 3, 4, they have Age of Mythology, and they're bringing these games over to the Xbox platform, and they're going to continue to do that, as well as continue to move forward with the franchise. All right, now we're going to be moving on to Bethesda Gameworks. So we all know that Bethesda is now a subsidiary of Xbox. They bought them back in 2021, and we're going to be going over what they are working on. Alpha Dog Game. So this is currently a sort of iPhone, Android device. They just do mobile games. They just released Mighty Doom not too long ago, and I think that game is actually doing extremely well for itself. And that's who they are. They are a mobile game studio, and this is what they're doing. They're just going to continue doing mobile games for the Bethesda. And not much is known other than that. Arkane Studios is devolved into two different teams. You have Arkane Austin and Arkane Leon. Arkane Leon is best known for Dishonored and Deathloop. Arkane Austin is best known for Prey and Redfall. The abysmal game Redfall. The game is terrible. It launched in an unplayable state. If you like it, then you like it. But oh man, I don't know how you can like some game that is just completely barren with no cutscenes. It's like a PowerPoint, and there's just nothing going on here. It is literally boring. But that's just my take on it. But anyways, Arkane Leon, which is the head studio, so the main studio. These are the guys that are behind, the masterminds behind Dishonored, Dishonored 2, and Deathloop. There are rumors surrounding that they are currently working on a potential Deathloop 2 that has been kind of semi-confirmed by the actor of Colt from Deathloop, but no definitive game has been announced yet, and we're still waiting on the next answer to Deathloop, whether it's going to be another game in the Dishonored universe or if it's going to be Deathloop 2, which is also in the Dishonored universe somehow. But, you know, hey, I don't really care. I don't pay attention to that. Dishonored 2, Dishonored are fantastic. Deathloop, eh. Then we have Austin. Austin was a studio that I kind of had some trust in because of the fantastic Prey but they lost all of that with Redfall. But rumor has it that they're already working on another project, which is Project Black Sky. Not too much is known about this at the moment. It was included in the NVIDIA GeForce leaks that occurred a couple years back, and that's all we really know about it. But that is also part of the reason why they just kind of let Redfall come out and just move on to the next project, so that way they could just get past it and keep on going. That's at least what has been talked about behind the scenes, not so much in the public. But they I really need to pull a rabbit out of that ass, because I cannot imagine me really going back and believing in anything Austin has to do because of how bad Redfall launched. But I could be wrong. Arkane Leon is still a very talented and strong studio, and if they just come back from that, I think that they can really just shake that stank off, and come back stronger than ever. Bethesda Game Studios. All right, so you obviously know who these are. This is the team, the D team, right? These are the Fallout 3, the Oblivion, the Skyrim, the Fallout 4 team. These are the guys. Whenever you think of a guy, this is that dude. This is whenever you're out there wandering space, just traveling to the nearest star. That's because of Bethesda, right? Because of Starfield. Starfield is their next game. This game is going to be huge. I want to know more about it. We have seen some inside stuff going on here because of the showcase that they showed off last year. We saw a lot of gameplay. That gameplay kind of looked choppy in my opinion, but I think that how massive this game is, and if they go and show off just a portion of it to us and really have a nice slice of life for it, we can really get a good taste of the potential of where Bethesda is. They need to come back from their past mistakes. A lot of people say Fallout 4 was a mistake. I agree. But Fallout 4 is actually a fun game. A lot of people played it. There is a lot to it. Even though it might not be the best Fallout game, it is still a fun game. And I think that Starfield is going to take it back to those RPG roots and allow freedom and character design and romance and sex in space. And if that's not what you want, then I don't know what to tell you. All right. If you don't want sex in space, then what are you doing here? Right. So that's what they're working on. They've also announced that they are working on Elder Scrolls 6 that was announced years prior. We know that is the next project for them once Starfield has been shipped, and we know that they currently have a one-page layout for Fallout 5. So they have a lot on their plate, and they have told us exactly what they're doing, and now we just have to play the waiting game. But they also have other studios within Bethesda as well that are currently doing updates for Fallout 76. They are working on the Creation 2 engine, as well as a IP that they registered underneath the name Spy Team. Those are all things that they're currently also doing and juggling at the same time. id Software is known for Doom and Quake, and we have not seen anything from them since the Doom DLC for Doom Eternal. This team obviously knows how to do blood and gore, but they also know how to do combat. These guys are the masters at first-person shooters, and everybody knows it. There is no other. It is only Doom. But the thing is, we always hear about how id Software comes in and helps these studios with their first-person shooting, like they did in Fallout 4, like they did in Redfall, like they're doing in supposedly they're doing in Starfield. Are they doing that? Who really knows, right? Because it doesn't seem like it. None of those games ever feel like Doom. But for some reason, they keep telling us that. Maybe to try to give us some hype, build us up a little bit, so that way they can knock us down and deplete us of our humanity. But we have to wait and see. From what we have seen so far of the improvements that have occurred on Starfield from a little tiny window and about 40 feet away, you can see that the fluidity of Starfield has been improved upon, and it probably is because of id Software. These guys, they know what they're doing. But we don't really know what they're working on next. There's rumor that they're currently coming out with a Quake game that we We don't know if they're doing another Doom. It doesn't seem that way at the end of Doom Eternal and all the DLC and everything. Everyone says there is a definitive ending there. I have yet to play it, so I don't know. Spoiler alert, if you are in the middle of that, well then I'm sorry, you just got spoiled. That it ends. There you go. Oops, my bad. Machine Games, Indiana Jones. Now, need I say more? Actually, yes, I do, because we haven't really seen any updates coming from Indiana Jones in quite some time. Now, Machine Games is not just known for Indiana Jones, it is also known for their Wolfenstein games. But their current project, as we know it, is Indiana Jones. We are waiting on some sort of other clarification, a CGI trailer, a gameplay trailer. I thought that we would at least hear something by now, especially since Indiana Jones, the 5th movie, is hitting theaters pretty soon. But hopefully this game isn't as bad as that movie, because a lot of reviews are coming in and saying that movie is not very good. In fact, it's a stinker, just like how I imagined Harrison Ford smelling. That is what this that's what this game could potentially be, right? Actually, I don't know. Todd Howard has said before that this is a passion project of his, that this is something that he's been working on his whole entire life. He's actually the one who's working on it and developing it and helping out with the story. So I can imagine that this is going to be very well written, because this guy knows how to sell things and his jacket is pretty cool. But Machine Games is also known for Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein is a franchise that I feel is super underrated. I don't know why not a lot of people talk about this franchise. Wolfenstein 2 was absolutely off the walls with their gameplay decisions, with their story decisions. It is a fun experience and I highly recommend it. It just doesn't get the love that Doom does for some reason. But Wolfenstein 3, Pete Hines has even stated that Wolfenstein 3 is in development and it will be coming out at some point. When? I don't know. I miss shooting Nazis in the face. I love that. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why, because Nazis suck. But I feel like a lot of people need to shoot more Nazis in the face. So maybe because of the way the climate is, the political climate is now, they don't really want to get involved with that stuff. I'm not really sure. I mean, I know that some places have banned the Nazi symbol of the swastika. So maybe that is why they just don't want to do censorship. I don't really know. Hopefully we see more soon, because I really do want to Wolfenstein 3, and I want Indiana Jones to be good. I want it to be a good, fun time. So please deliver. Have it be the Uncharted for Xbox. We're not really even sure if this is going to be exclusive, because it is a LucasArts game. They own the IP, so who knows if it's going to be exclusive. But we will see, hopefully soon. Roundhouse Games. Who is this guy? I have no idea. I don't know what they've really done before. But Roundhouse Games is working on an unannounced, maybe a Marvel IP game in the works. And it's supposed to be a PvE type game. These are really becoming very popular as of late. I feel like everyone is trying to get into that craze, which is not even really that much of a craze. I just feel like it's developers wanting it to be something that it isn't. And this seems to be a similar case to that as well. Tango Gameworks. This team it blows me away. I don't understand how they're able to go from one genre to the next to the next. I honestly thought that Tango Gameworks was going to be the horror studio that was going to be underneath Bethesda and underneath Xbox. We saw it with Evil Within 2, and Ghostwire Tokyo, but they dropped an amazing game called Hi-Fi Rush. Now, they don't really know exactly what they're working on next, but there are rumors that they're working on an unannounced multiplayer game as well as an unannounced JRPG. This team just shows how talented they are with how they move from one genre to the next. And you can even say that Evil Within 1 and Evil Within 2 are completely two different genres, because Evil Within 1 is more of a survival horror game, whereas Evil Within 2 is more akin to something like The Last of Us, which is a more linear experience. And you have Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a first-person shooter with crazy hand animations. You have Hi-Fi Rush, which is a third-person platformer that is a rhythm-based game. And I don't know how they're able to nail that, but they did. And now they're wanting to work on a multiplayer game as well as a JRPG. What can't these guys? These guys are just talented beyond belief. They take something and they say, okay, let's throw a dart at the board here and see what kind of genre it sticks on, and then we're going to make a very solid game based off of that genre. And it seems to be working for them. Zenimax Online Studios is mostly known for Elder Scrolls Online. They have continued to pour updates into this game, and I am shocked that this game has the legs that it has had for the past several years now. But it is just a money revenue machine for Bethesda as well as Xbox now, and it is going to continue to be that way. It is one of the better MMOs out there. I have dabbled in it a little bit. I've had fun with it. They actually have the complete worlds of Morrowind and Skyrim and Oblivion in this game, and then some. This game is huge. It is a massive multiplayer online game, which is what it stands for, right? The M. Is that what the M means? But they did a great job. And I'm not really a big MMO guy, but I have tried it. I have experienced it, and I can tell you that it is quality. But there are rumors that they are currently working on other unannounced projects as well. One of those being a potential Mandalorian game. I don't know what it is about Mandalorian and all the rumors surrounding the IP in regards to what the Coalition could be potentially working on, in regards to what ZeniMax Online is working on. But I can't imagine an MMO RPG set around the Mandalorian. It just doesn't seem feasible to me. Just because if you watch the show, you know that the Mandalorian is kind of a very secluded group. There's not a whole lot of them. And they just willingly take their masks off all the time. So I don't really know what the point of that is, but that's a different time for a different story, for a different discussion. If you're a Star Wars fan, then you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So we'll see what's going on here. But that is currently what ZeniMax Studios Online is working on and continuing to put out those updates. Now, that concludes everything for Bethesda. We did all the Xbox Game Studio stuff, we did all the Bethesda stuff, and now we're going to be moving on to Xbox Game Studios Publishing. This is third-party titles. These are things that Xbox is paying to get made to drop exclusively on the Xbox platform. So a lot of these are kind of just rumored at the moment or have project names, and that's pretty much all we have on the subject. We have not really gotten a whole lot announced out of Xbox Game Publishing, other than like things like Aura, which looks kind of mid, but that's just me. Hey, that's just me. All right. Hey, I'm an Xbox guy, but I can tell you right now, it's not the game for me. Project Shaolin by Brassline Entertainment, said to be an anime art style ARPG with Wu-Tang Clan involved for music. That is going to be very intriguing. I would love to see Wu-Tang come up with some music and put it in the video game. Don't really listen to that type of music, but I am all for it. I love to be experienced to new things, and I think that a lot of people would be excited for this game. Wandering Tower by Stoic Studio, originally leaked as Project Belfry, which is said to be a game that kind of mimics the Princess Mononoke art style. So it's kind of a Studio Ghibli type feel to it. I think it's going to be like a 2D platformer or something of that nature. Again, not a whole lot is known about this, but that is a game that we could potentially be seeing pretty soon. Killer Instinct by an unknown, potentially Bandai Namco developer. So this was something that Special Nick was going around and toting. He also was toting that there's going to be a remaster of Gears of War, and we haven't seen that yet. But there are other rumors that are also substantiating this. Killer Instinct needs to make a comeback. Killer Instinct is huge. It is a big, important franchise for Xbox, and they don't even know it. This is a franchise that is the only thing you have going for a fighting franchise at Xbox. A lot of people have migrated from Xbox over to PlayStation because of the fighting games that they have a selection of. That's not something that Xbox can say. They really don't have the fighting mentality. And so having Killer Instinct and having Bandai Namco create it is going to be perfect because they know how to make fighting games. Especially if you have Arc System come in and do that. I don't know. Wait, is Arc System? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, if you have Arc System come in and do a good job with this, That'd be pretty cool to see. And you could have so much opportunity to include so much IP in this. You could have Doom Guy fighting Marcus Phoenix, fighting Master Chief, fighting Raz from Psychonauts. There's just so many possibilities here, and it'd be really cool to see. So hopefully we get that. That'd be a really nice addition, especially since Xbox needs a fighter. Project Suerte by Certain Affinity. This is a title that's supposed to be mimicking the Monster Hunter success. A lot of games actually don't mimic Monster Hunter, which is surprising to say the least. There should be another game like Monster Hunter, but sadly there's not. But Monster Hunter is such a great franchise that I feel like it's so hard to make a copy of that and not have people draw direct comparisons to that. It's sort of like that game that was showcased at the PlayStation showcase that was the wannabe Splatoon. There's just, you know, it's just so big that it engulfs everything inside of it. Sort of like Pokemon. There's no other game like Pokemon. Like, no one has ever tried to make another Pokemon. If they have, they probably fell flat on their face because it's not Pokemon. And that's what I feel like with Monster Hunter. But maybe Certain Affinity can prove me wrong. Maybe they can show me that there is a desire to have more Monster Hunter-like games in the space. And this team seems to be a workhorse for Microsoft, and I'm surprised because they're not even acquired by them yet. But this team has been everywhere. They have worked on Call of Duty. They have worked on Halo since pretty much the beginning. They're still working on Halo, and now they're working on another project for Xbox. This team is Team Xbox, so might as well just put them under the umbrella there. Project Vonnegut is an unknown game. No one really knows a lot about it, but there's potential for it to be a Shadowrun reboot that might happen. Who knows? But that is a potential game that is also coming from the third-party publishing arm. 1 vs 100 Revival by Altspace VR. Now, this was probably squashed. They probably stopped producing this game, mostly because they're not really chasing the VR scene, and they don't really want to invest in this anymore anyways. So it probably got squashed, but I would love to see a 1 vs 100 a revival. I had such a fun time with friends in high school playing 1 vs 100 and trying to guess the little knowledge bubbles and trying to get through and trying to see how far you could make it. It was a fun time, and it was also performed live, which is really crazy to even think about. Like, you would have events and you would mark your calendar so that way, okay, at 8 o'clock I need to get on 1 vs 100 because they're going to do an event and I want to be a part of that, which is really fun. And I'm surprised no one has ever done anything like that ever again. I know it was a game show, but I would love to see that come back. Project Chinook, which is a accessible strategy game that is coming to the platform at some point. Jez Corden leaked this earlier. There's not much known other than just that information by itself. But if you're into strategy games, it seems that Xbox is the place for that. They keep putting money and time involved with this. You see it with Age of Empires. Age of Empires is actually a huge franchise. Even though it's not something that I am particularly interested in, I know that there's thousands of players that go and play Age every single month. And so this is a franchise that they want to chase after and want to continue. Project Dragon by IO Interactive. Now, this has been something that has been in the works for a while. There's rumors that they were going to be a MMORPG that that IO Interactive was going to be involved with. It is leaked by Jez Corden himself. It seems to be that this is probably moving forward without the support of Xbox and is going to be kind of going independent, and IO is probably going to be just developing this for multiple platforms. But there was some sort of talks of this happening. There's also rumors of Xbox acquiring IO Interactive at some point. We're not really too sure, especially since IO just bought themselves out from Square. So who really knows? A lot of companies don't really want to have that freedom taken away from them after they just earned it back. But this is going to be a huge investment for them, especially since they're also coming out with the Hitman game. So hopefully everything goes well. IO is a very IO is a very talented team. I keep saying that over and over again, but it's true. IO has created several masterpieces in terms of the Hitman franchise, and they continue to astonish me. Project Pax Dai was also going to be another MMO game as well that is potentially being swept to the wayside by Xbox, and the team behind it, Mainframe, might just go and just make this a third-party game, or just a third-party game. Now, there's also other rumors of a collection of games coming out at some point, sort of like what they did with the Master Chief Collection with Halo. There's rumors of a Marcus Phoenix Collection, which is going to contain all of the older Gears of War games remastered and placed on PC. And there's also rumors of a Fable remastered trilogy as well, doing the same exact thing. Now, these rumors have been circulating for a very long time, but Tom Warren has even attempted at announcing these himself, and Special Nick has gone in and also stated that these games are potentially happening. I, for one, would love to see a Gears of War trilogy and a Fable remastered trilogy come out, because I feel like these games need a remaster. It would be great to have a new set of eyes on them, to be able to show a new era of gamers where those games come from, and to help with pretty much boosting up the multiplayer for these games. Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 can utilize that boost. It could also introduce them to a PC market, because some of those games were never released on PC, especially with Fable, and you can build more hype for Gears of War 6 and for the Fable by Playground Games. So hopefully this happens. There also was a little dialogue from Phil Spencer himself that indicated that a collection of games is going to be coming soon, when he did his interview not too long ago over there on the Kind of Funny Xcast. Over there, they were able to get a little bit of information about it. I don't know if that necessarily means that a collection of games, as in a bunch of games, are going to be at the showcase. I don't know if he means of a collection of games as in an actual collection of like Gears of War games. I'm not really sure. It could have been just a slip of the tongue, but we don't really know too much at this point. I would love to see these franchises return in a remastered way, just like how we saw Halo 2 come back and Halo come back. I wish that they would do the same treatment with Halo 3, because Halo 2, if you look at the visuals for that game, are mind-blowing. These things look photorealistic. I have never seen Master Chief in a better light than I did during Halo 2's cutscenes. Get the same people that they got for that over, help them out with Gears of War, help them out with Fable, and I think it'd be a really great time. And it'll give me an excuse to kind of run back into the game itself. A couple of other projects that we know is Project Velvet, as well as Project Kalimba. These are some titles that we just know the project name. We don't really know what is going on with them. We don't know who's attached to them, but these are titles that are just throwing them out there as well, just so that way you know that there's multiple different titles that can potentially be revealed at any point from any studio, and we just have no idea. They just seem to be investing heavily in this third-party publishing arm, and that is good news. That is great. This is going to boost Game Pass. It's going to boost sales of the console, and it's going to allow more people in the system, and we can all be Xbox fans and kumbaya and hug it out and have a great time together and yell at each other on Gears of War Remastered Trilogy. I'm for it. I'm for it. Actually, something that was kind of interesting, Kin Blue Kelly game. So this was a leaked game by Kin Blue Kelly himself. He was doing an interview for NFL Draft Picks, and he is a draft pick for the Ravens. And during that interview, he stated that he is working closely with Microsoft on a game that is about a SEAL team that is trained to go back in time and prevent people from changing history and alternating historical events. He then stated that he might have said too much and he backed away from that topic, but it's just very bizarre to me that is how this leaked. It's a very Microsoft leak type way. I feel like Microsoft is the best leakers because they accidentally put things on their store. They accidentally send out emails when they're not supposed to. They accidentally announce things on Twitter when they're not supposed to. And now they have football players who are NFL draft picks who are now leaking their games. If you want me to leak a game, you can find the email in the description down below. You can hit me up and I'll leak anything for you guys. So please send me some details about the Xbox event, and I will spread it for you to the 300 people or so that are listening to this. Hopefully it's that much people listening to this right now. But yeah, that is a very interesting thing. I think I really do like the concept. It does sound pretty fun and just really zany, and especially with the way it got leaked. If this is true, it would be pretty awesome that we could look back at this and be like, yeah, that game got leaked because a football player told everybody. We also know that an Ori 3 is also potentially being worked on, but it's not going to be handled by Moon Studios anymore. The relationship between Moon Studios and Microsoft has kind of soured over time, especially with the rumors and leaks of how the Moon Studios crunches their studio with the way the studio head is kind of mouthy. A lot of people are just like done with him and what he is doing with the studio, and so they're moving on. And because Microsoft owns Ori, they are going to continue on with the franchise without that team, and see where that goes moving forward. Contraband is also a game that is being published by Avalanche Game Studios. We did get a little tease of it at one of the events. It's supposed to be a heist type game that uses a lot of driving mechanics behind it, but there's rumors that it has now been pushed out of the window of 2023. It was initially supposed to be coming out in 2021, but that got pushed back then as well. So who really knows when we'll see any sort of concept of this, but that is another game that is also coming. I mentioned earlier Aria Story Untold. This is a third-party game that's going to be an RTS that is also coming to the platform. Oh, sorry, it's a 4X strategy game. And then, of course, we have the big one, the untitled Hideo Kojima cloud game that we don't really know the name of, which is potentially Overdrive. There was an announcement last year where Hideo Kojima himself came out and said that he is working with Xbox on this new technology to develop a game exclusively for the platform. We will see that when it's ready. Everyone knows Hideo Kojima. He's a master at delivering weird games, and that is probably what we're gonna get, is another weird entry. I have not really played any of the Metal Gear Solid games. I know, how can I be excited about Metal Gear Solid 3 if I haven't even played one? But I am, so there's that. But I know that a lot of people are huge fans of this guy and just fans of the way his mind works, and Xbox is going to be getting a game from him exclusive. There you go. So that covers everything, right? That covers everything that I can potentially go over when it comes down to Xbox Game Publishing, Xbox Studios, as well as Bethesda. I probably missed a few things, so if you want to let me know in the comment section below what I missed and how much of an idiot I am, then please feel free to do so. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys for sticking through all of this and watching this whole thing, if you did decide to watch the whole thing. But it's very exciting to be an Xbox fan. We have a lot of stuff to be excited about, and with the Xbox Game Showcase just in a week or two, we are going to be getting a lot, and it's going to be fun to kind of give you guys my ideas on what's going to be present at the show, and it's going to be fun to discuss everything after the show. I'm excited. This is going to be huge. This is a good time to be an Xbox gamer. It's just a good time to be a gamer in general. So what do you guys think of this video? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for stopping by and checking me out. And if you want to find more content similar to this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. And bye.